What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of KozMatt's Wrestling Recap. Let's get right into one of the best Raws I've seen in quite a while. What did you think, Matthew?
I don't think it was the best Raw we've seen in quite a while, but I think it certainly lived up to the standards of on the road to WrestleMania. So I think the way they opened it up was the right way to open it up. It was in Chicago, it was a hyped crowd, and they were, selling everything tonight. And I guess the way they opened up Raw was the right way with Kevin Owens opening up the show with Stone Cold's music. So Stone Cold's music hits and everybody went nuts. They were berated thinking it was actually Stone Cold Steve Austin, but it was Kevin Owens who was dressed up as the rattlesnake himself.
Kevin
Owens,
with the bald cap on and everything.
He was. We'll put a picture up here on our top left of the screen. But Kevin Owens demanding a beer from a ringside guard after cutting a quick little promo, then stunning that WWE employee / guard, whatever you want to call them, celebrating with 2 beers, plucking them together, and then drinking them. So kind of nostalgia. But you know what, dude? That was a great way to open up Raw, huh?
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I cannot wait to see this Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens segment on WrestleMania. They're certainly building it correctly, and I think Kevin Owens is absolutely hilarious with that bald cap and the beers.
Oh, for sure. So moving next, Raw, honestly, it went by pretty quick to me. I was sitting the full 3 hours. I mean, whatever, it's full 3 hours. But next is The Miz. He joins commentary as the Dirty Dogs take on the Mysterios. A quick match with Dominic getting the win for his team over Robert Roode with a nice splash. But Miz actually attacks Rey Mysterio, stripping the mask off the legendary luchador. You know how that goes. You do not strip the mask off of any type of luchador.
Oh, that's a big no-no, man. I cannot believe that Miz did that. It certainly created for some chaos ringside. Rey running away, holding his hands over his face. It was absolutely chaotic.
Yes, it was. But let's just go to chaotic, right? So we have Omos taking on Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews in a handicap match. I don't even remember if this happened before, like 2 weeks ago, or if even it happened last week. But what are they doing with Omos? But nonetheless, the match making no sense. Horribly thought out. Omos stacking both Aziz and Crews on top of one another for a double pin. What are they doing to Omos? And especially, what are they doing to Aziz? And most importantly, what are they doing to Apollo Crews?
Oh, dude, it's a shit show all the way around. We talked about this last week. It's just being forced down our throats that Omos is supposed to be this big monster. It's not happening naturally, and I don't like it at all.
So far, the matches that we've been seeing, the start of Raw, it was all right. But what we move to next, AJ Styles returning after Edge's, of course, his brutal attack on him 2 weeks ago. AJ demanding Edge to come out, but is answered by Seth Rollins. Let me just say, if we talk about Raw tonight, the whole episode of Raw, man, it was just focused on Seth Rollins, and I loved it. He made the show, but AJ demands Edge to come out. But of course, he is answered by Seth Rollins. Seth asked for another chance as he asked to take on AJ Styles, and the winner of that match tonight faces Edge at Mania, and Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville come out, and they actually booked the match, and AJ Styles was pissed about this, screaming at him backstage after.
Oh, dude, this match absolutely stole the show, but we'll get into that later. I just love seeing Seth Rollins being the main focus on Raw. I think it's a great way to get him involved without him having a title.
I think so. The way they ended up storytelling the end of Raw was phenomenal, but we'll get to that. But we see an altercation with the women's tag team champions, Queen Zelina and Carmella. They were not on the same page, man. They were not. So I was kind of scared of what's to come for WrestleMania, but we do see Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley take out Italian Shayna Baszler. Carmella comes out mid-match, upset, yelling at Corey Graves about what happened, about how Zelina called her ugly and whatnot, as Baszler actually scores a win for her team, with Zelina then coming out, attacking the women in the ring, as Carmella then wipes out Shayna outside of the ring. And then they both run inside the ring, embracing. They fought backstage, and then all of a sudden they're just embracing in the ring. Were they both bipolar? I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, I hate to say this week after week. I just absolutely hate these titles. I hate these matches. I want them to go away so bad. Why isn't Vince McMahon answering my pleas and cries for these titles to go bye-bye?
Vince doesn't care what you think, Kyle.
Oh, man. I'm going to write him a strongly worded letter.
A strongly rewarded letter. Let's talk about a strongly rewarded promo Becky Lynch cut next about Bianca Belair and their upcoming match at Mania, about what happened last few weeks and the hair whipping and whatnot. But it was a good speech. I get what she was trying to get at, but it was too long and it just kind of was nonsense. It just kind of kept rolling on. And I was just like, Bianca's not going to come out. It's just Becky cutting a promo. I didn't really care for it, but whatever gets Becky TV time, I guess we'll accept. But we're going to move forward with Pat McAfee joining commentary as Austin Theory takes on the United States champion Finn Balor. It feels good to say that, to be honest with you. It really does.
Oh, absolutely. It really does. I could not be happier for Finn. I could not be even happier that Pat McAfee was on Monday Night Raw.
Let me just say, with McAfee ringside, I knew, of course, something fishy was going to happen. Theory was going to be put to the test, and man, did McAfee just fucked with Theory the whole night. Excuse me. Finn ultimately getting the win over Austin, who was just toyed around once again by McAfee, who was running to commentary, then running back to the ring to, just fuck with Theory. It was just great, and I can just tell it's going to be an explosive match at WrestleMania between Pat McAfee and Austin Theory.
Oh, dude, it's going to be
McMahon, the protege. And Austin Theory even said if McAfee loses at Mania against him, Vince McMahon will put his his commentary job on the table for Jeopardy and whatnot. So I don't know if that was true or not, but it was coming out of Theory's mouth prior match. So we'll see. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, man, I cannot wait to see this match. I really think it could be a sleeper match for WrestleMania. I love seeing Pat McAfee in the ring. If we see anything like what he did when he faced Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver, I think we're going to be in for a hell of a show.
Yes, sir. I think so. And I think McAfee's going to be in it to win it. But we move next to RK Bro taking on the Alpha Academy. As we learned actually from last week, the Street Profits will be added to their WrestleMania match at the biggest, stupendous WrestleMania of all time. So it's going to be RK Bro versus the Alpha Academy versus Street Profits. But tonight it was RK Bro versus the Alpha Academy. Riddle and Wendy getting the win, but was laid out by Otis as the Street Profits that come down to stop the attacks standing tall. So even though the Alpha Academy didn't take a win, Otis did, get some spotlight after the match. And then, of course, Street Profits did get some TV time standing tall to close out that segment. So, you know what? I'm pumped. And honestly, I wouldn't mind if RK Bro lost the tag team titles at Mania.
Oh, I think they're going to lose as well. I must say, I give WWE kudos. They're really trying to build up that tag team division on Raw. I think all three of these teams are getting booked very solid, and it'll be a toss-up to see which team walks out with those titles at WrestleMania.
I think so. So let's talk about titles. This was a mess. So what happened next? The WWE decided to repeat the mixed match. I can't even say the mixed match tag team.
It was just such a shit show. We can't even talk about it.
Reggie and Dana, and then Akira Tozawa and Tamina. Before the match, Tamina tells Tozawa she wants the 24/7 title, and he told her he promised to help her win it. Didn't happen, but both teams played chicken fight as Dana Brooke and Reginald go get the win. Less than literally a minute. It was just a filler match, but Tamina hit Tozawa in the nuts, which made the match turn south. It was kind of funny to see, but man, I feel bad for Tozawa. He's being put in this. He's given spotlight, but like he's just not being booked the way he should be.
Oh, he's never been booked right since day one. I'm at least glad he's getting some TV time, but WWE creatives really got nothing for him. Shocker that is for WWE Logic for you. It's not like we haven't seen that before. We even saw a promo for Veer, but we haven't seen him in weeks. But I guess he's coming back to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, the promo for Veer. What was that all about? It was kind of interesting. I don't know if we can find a picture of it, but it pretty much Veer to come on the April 4th edition of Raw. I believe they said, don't quote me on that, but I think it's April 4th possibly. But whatever. So let's go to the main event because this is what the show was really all about, storytelling. And I think we all were expecting something different. But you know what? I am happy the way Raw ended. So it was AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins, and if Seth Rollins beats AJ, he's facing Edge at Mania, rather AJ facing Edge. This was a great match. I really thought AJ Styles put away Seth, and I really thought at the last few minutes Seth put AJ away with a Falcon Arrow. Not the case, as all of a sudden Edge runs out from ringside and attacks AJ with a steel chair from the back as AJ is about to hit a phenomenal forearm onto Seth Rollins to close the match out. And supposedly it disqualifies, the match. And of course, Seth Rollins is your loser. AJ Styles is still your winner by DQ. So it's AJ versus Edge still. And Seth Rollins just went nuts after the match. And man, he just went crazy. What did he do? He like took apart part of the barricade, stomped it through.
Cursing at the ref. It was absolutely chaotic, man. He was calling everybody a bitch, saying it was bullshit. I'm not surprised if Vince doesn't find him, man. It was like a pipe bomb, but after a match, it was absolutely incredible.
They kept having to, I don't know what it's called, but blurring out, beeping out the bitch every time he would say it. He was doing it so much they couldn't keep up in the back. So I don't know if that was scripted or not, but Seth does what Seth wants, man. And it was a good way to end Raw. And you know what? It kind of gave me goosebumps even more for next week's show, if possibly Cody Rhodes will return. So that's a whole nother story, man. But I think we're going to see Cody Rhodes possibly show up at WrestleMania like we saw John Cena and The Undertaker a few years ago, and they won't have a match. But what did you say about WrestleMania Backlash before we go, Kyle?
I heard a wild rumor that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes will have a match at WrestleMania, and the winner will face the winner of the unification bout between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. That could be absolutely incredible. We might even go to see that match live. Imagine that, man. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, probably, I'm guessing. But seeing Cody Rhodes back in a WWE ring, man, I cannot wait.
For sure. We'll start doing WrestleMania predictions because, dude, WrestleMania is like, what, 2, 3, 4 weeks away, 3 weeks away, not even.
Oh, dude, it's coming fast.
We pretty much have the whole card set up, but we haven't gotten to see any WrestleMania teasers of the stage or arena for this year's WrestleMania 38. But let's cut it off. This video is starting to go down because we're going to just keep talking about our hopes and dreams for
WrestleMania. Dude, here we go.
Here we go. That's for another video. But you know what, man? SmackDown, that's going to sell. Hopefully we see Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. They did say Brock Lesnar and Reigns will be on Raw next week. So I don't really know much about that, but I'm surprised to see that. But I guess we'll see them also Friday. I don't know, but we'll keep you guys posted with the Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, NASCAR. Where's NASCAR this Sunday?
Oh, dude, I think it's at, don't quote me on this, it's at Coda. It's a road course. Should be a fun race. We will keep you guys posted on that. Always like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you Saturday for a SmackDown recap and Sunday for a race recap. Peace out, bitches.
For sure. Oh.
Come on and